It was the biggest defence deal the nation had ever seen, a $90 billion joint venture between France and Australia to build 12 new submarines in Adelaide.
I think we were excited on a number of levels.
Small business owner Cameron Johnston was keen for a slice of the action.
Peter, how you going?
We are specialist sheet metal fabricators, particularly in steel and stainless steel. The submarine itself has a large demand for the sort of skills that we offer.
Very time-sensitive project, this one. How are we looking?
Yeah, we look good.
Cameron planned to bid for work and went as far as partnering with a French supplier in Cherbourg. Then the submarine contract was spectacularly dumped.
And so, friends, AUKUS is born. A new enhanced trilateral security partnership between Australia, the United Kingdom and the United States.
My immediate response was one of disappointment. I would suggest that we've spent about $100,000 in going to and from Cherbourg, conferences, trade fairs and all that sort of stuff. The bigger loss is possibly just in terms of wasted time and effort.
Just in South Australia alone, $35 million was invested by local companies. Around 170 had qualified for the project.
It's not just potential suppliers counting the cost of the cancelled contract. More than 250 employees from the French submarine maker Naval Group are looking for work.
Everybody who was working on the Attack Class program with Naval Group, Lockheed Martin, Australia, are all being offered the opportunity to take new jobs as part of the sovereign shipbuilding talent pool that we're creating through the ASC. And that will provide a guaranteed pipeline of jobs for those individuals.
The federal government torpedoed the French deal to chart a new course involving nuclear-powered submarines. In October, the toast of the UK fleet was welcomed into Australia to mark the historic AUKUS deal.
The reactor can remain on that boat intact for 32 years.
We intend to build these submarines in Adelaide, Australia, in close cooperation with the United Kingdom and the United States.
Look, I think the language that's been used so far, intending to build the submarine in Australia, is very imprecise. The decision timelines are conveniently after the election.
Under the deal, Australia's nuclear submarines will be based on an existing British or American model. Despite an 18-month consultation period, the government has already flagged the reactors will be built overseas.
Can you give an ironclad guarantee that besides the nuclear reactor, the rest of the submarine will be built in Adelaide?
It is absolutely the government's intention to see as much as possible built in Adelaide and across Australia.
The French submarine maker Naval Group initially promised 90% of the contract value would be spent in Australia. The pledge later dropped to 60%. It's been reported the new nuclear submarines may have only 40% local content.
Is 40% local content about right?
I think it is too early to speculate in terms of numbers. We want to ensure we get as much as possible.
We are the most reliant nation in the OECD for its manufactured needs. That is, we import more of what we need that's manufactured than any other country in the OECD.
The Future Submarine program has been a procurement disaster. By the time our first submarine gets into the water in 2040, we will have been through 7 federal elections.
What can you say to the public now to give them the confidence that this time it's different?
I encourage people to look at the rest of our naval shipbuilding program. The fact that we have seen successfully built air warfare destroyers followed by offshore patrol vessels. This is all a demonstration that we're actually getting on, building, delivering.
Independent MP and former submariner Rex Patrick has first-hand experience of US nuclear submarines. He says operating them would be immensely complicated because Australia doesn't have a civil nuclear industry.
When I went to sea on USS Santa Fe, I was working with a Navy that had been operating nuclear-powered submarines for 50 years. If you've got a brand new Navy, no nuclear industry, and you've got no real in-depth safety regime, it would certainly concern me, and I don't think it's something you can just obtain overnight.
I think there are certainly a number of issues around training, understanding how best to operate the type of sustainment and infrastructure at wharves and ports that are necessary, that will see increased cooperation with the US and the UK through the life of this program.
Back at Rowlands Metalworks, Cameron Johnston is now looking at other opportunities in industries which he believes may be a safer bet.
I don't think the submarines is of any interest to me personally, but it might be of more interest to my children.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.